Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. So in my never-ending quest to create better videos for you guys with better audio, I went out and I bought the Shure MV7 Podcast Kit. So this is a podcast mic and stand combo that will work if you plug this into your PC, or if you have a fancy DSLR audio setup, you can plug it into that as well. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing, setup, and also, speaking of fancy, I think what I'll do is I'll do a little comparison between the new mic and then also my fancy lavalier mic that cost me a small fortune. Without further ado, let's get this out of the box. Let's go.
Oh boy, it's Tech Timmy time.
All right, guys, so here we are over at the unboxing station. So first, couple disclaimers is I do not pretend to be an expert in podcasting or in even YouTube audio setups and so forth. I do know that these Shure microphones come highly recommended by the powers that be out there in YouTube land and the gurus and so forth, that they all recommend these mics, and several big podcasters use this mic, but this MV7 is super popular. Second disclaimer is that I bought and paid for this with my own money. This video is not sponsored by Shure, and all opinions are my own. What drew me to this was the fact that it comes with not just the mic, you also get this really nice looking stand. I believe it's called Gator. Yeah, it's an adjustable Gator mic stand.
I'm a gator, I'm a gator, I'm a gator.
That this is ideal for me. I know a lot of people like to have those boom arms that you can basically pull around and you have it set up on your desk for gaming and so forth. For me, I like the stand just because I do intend on doing some live streaming and also podcasting, and I feel like this is perfect in conjunction with my webcam to sort of get myself in the shot as well as the mic as well. Beautiful looking mic. You can adjust the colors and so forth, but in the box, like I said, super hefty and looks really well done. I love the art on the side here. The company, I don't know if it's Shure or the distributor, but they also shipped this with a little bag of candy that included some Smarties. I thought that was super cool. And then on the back, we do have some specs. I'm gonna touch on these super briefly, and then we'll get this out of the box and take a look. So auto level mode, customizable color LED panels. You can actually customize, using the software, you can customize this customize the colors on the mic. So if you want to have it consistent with your brand and so forth. I believe green means that the default is green is go and red is muted. So I actually like that. It's probably going to be fine for me. But you do have the capability to adjust those colors if that is a concern you want to align with your brand colors and so forth. I like that a lot. One touch mute button, so you can just basically tap the top of the mic and it will mute it out. Real-time denoiser, so I like that word, denoiser. We don't like noise at all, so that's good. That will eliminate background noise, presumably. Digital popper stopper, so I believe that is, I don't know if that is one of those say it, don't spray it things, or what, but if you know what that is, drop a comment down below and clue me in. It has reverb effects and so forth. It has headphone jack and capabilities. You can plug your headphones right into the microphone, which is awesome. I probably won't use it for that, but I know a lot of you out there like that. And then the stand as well. And then it goes into a little bit more of those things, but let's actually not belabor this any longer. Let's get this out of the box. And my very first podcast mic, yay! And I do have my unboxing knife here, and I think we're only gonna need it to remove this little tabby thing. Little tabby thing, and then all right, so did it rip? No, we're good. All right, so here we go, top of the box, and then dun dun dun, the moment of truth. And I'm going to this outside. I don't want to break it before we take it. There, oh, there's a box within a box. Here we go. All right, so I'm taking this out. That is in there snug. All right, now I do believe we open it this way. Oh, here we go. All right, documentation right on the top. This company they really have it, their act together, it seems. So this looks super professional. We have a download for the Shure.com, the Motive app. That's their main app, I believe. And so that's nice that we have that QR code right there. We can get started quickly. And speaking of that, a quick start guide as well. Let's get started. Customize your color. So connect via USB, connecting via XLR. I think I said SLR in the intro, so XLR. I don't have that, so I'm going to be connecting it directly into my computer. Maybe someday we'll get a little more fancy with an XLR setup. Customize your color, motive mix, user guide, and so forth. So let's just take a quick look. I love these illustrations. Looks super easy to connect, guys. So this is really, so by USB-C, and I believe it's C to C. We'll take a look at that in a second. And then, so here's the XLR one. Tap anywhere to mute. So how cool is that? You can just tap and you're muted. That's great if you have background noise or things going on in the background. And then Motive Mix. So this is the software. I've seen some demos of this online. Looks super impressive. I'm going to go very light on the setup and configuration here. I'll show you guys how I connect it into my computer, but many others have done. Every podcaster out there has done an unboxing video of this, so we're going to get through this nice and quickly and then get to the actual comparison of my lavalier mic versus this. Oh, wow. All right. Feels super solid. In fact, don't mess with me because if you want to use this as a weapon, you probably could clock someone over the head with this and it would really hurt. I love the foam on the top here. This looks super nice and professional. So I've always wanted one of these. So girding out a little bit here, as you can probably tell. And then a couple little divots in there. I think hopefully that will just work itself over time. And then my understanding is assembling this is super easy. We'll do that as well up next here. And then here we have a little screwy thing, I'm gonna call it, as part of the assembly.
What you talking about, Willis?
Take that out, set that aside for now. And then what else do we have in the box? So I'm gonna fast forward taking this out. I do wonder about this little guy, so I'm going to look it up and see what we need to do. All right, so two basic ways that you can mount this. You can use this base mount adapter. So this is the adapter they brought you if you just want to have it on shorty mode, I guess. And so this would connect directly into that and then that into the microphone. I like the idea of having the taller adjustable one, so we're going to do that. So basically, I would suggest let's put this in here first. And that's going to go in just like so. And then you have your adjustment here. And then this guy, obviously, bass. And this bass has got some nice heft to it, prevent the microphone from toppling over and so forth. And it feels super solid and super professional. I'm definitely pretty excited if you can't tell. And then you can use this guy to raise and lower it, presumably. Let's see here. So that's all you need to do. Just if you turn that, you can basically you use that to raise and lower the mic. And this is pretty much the default setting. And mine is probably going to be just tightened, something like that on my desk. So absolutely love it. So next I will take it over, show you the basic steps that I use to get this set up to my computer, and then we'll do a quick little sound test and then wrap up the video. Before going there, I should have showed you the inputs and outputs. So there's the headphone jack that I mentioned. Here is if you have the XLR setup, and then there's your USB-C connection. Looks like they provide a really nice USB-C cable as well. So this guy, one end's gonna stick in there, and the other end's gonna stick into my computer. And that's as easy as that to get this thing set up. And then we'll download the software and do a little test. All right, guys, so here we are over at my PC. So we can do that sound test between the new Shure mic and also my lavalier mic, which is made by a company called Deity. So this is Deity Pocket Wireless. And I'm super curious in terms of whether or not this mic sounds better than the lavalier one. We'll do that test in just a second. So for now, you should be getting all of the audio through the Shure mic, which hopefully it sounds a little bit better. I did notice a couple of weird things when I went to download the Motive Mix app. I basically clicked on download here, and then it said page not found. So whatever's going on the Shure website right now, I was not able to access that download, but it should work just fine without it. My understanding is that the Motive Mix app is good for things like customization, if you want to fine tune some of the more detailed settings and so forth. And also you can use it to customize the colors on the top, which I said as by default is green when you're recording, and then when you click on when you click anywhere on the mic. So I just said it will mute it out and you won't be able to hear me. So hopefully you caught that. But I thought that was kind of weird with the Motive Mix app. But I did also, because there are a few steps involved here, I did put together this little infographic. I will leave a link to this over on my website. I'll leave a link in the description to this. So this is just a PDF that I put together for myself to basically help walk through the steps for both USB-C And then also if you're connecting into Windows, and then also if you have an XLR setup. It's just basically 4 basic steps. The Shure documentation is generally good, but if anyone needs a little bit more hand-holding, you can download this PDF off my website. Yeah, okay, so in terms of the audio test, let me just mute this out, and I'm going to talk directly into the lavalier mic here. So the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. So that's the lavalier mic, and now I will switch back to the Shure mic. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. So that is the Shure mic. So there's your audio test. Do me a favor, if you think that the Shure mic sounded better, just drop a comment. Just comment the word better down below. If you think the Shure mic sounded worse than the lavalier mic, comment worse down below. That would be a nice little test, I think, to see what folks think out there. But anyhow, so that wraps it up for this video. If you're going to value from this whatsoever, if you wouldn't just mind smashing that like button, helps out the channel a lot. And I hope to see you in the next video. I do all sorts of videos about tech, and YouTube thinks that you might like one of these videos I'm going to put up on screen over here somewhere. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. We'll plan to do some podcasting, and I'm super excited to start using my Shure mic. Anyway, see you next time. Cheers.